News at 5.
Purple rain, purple rain. Oh, yes. Don't it feel good? Only wanna see you, see you. Can I play this guitar?
Tonight, we remember music legend Prince, who rose to fame in the late 70s and was probably most popular in the 80s and early 90s with hits such as Little Red Corvette, Purple Rain, Let's Go Crazy, and Diamonds and Pearls. Good evening. I'm Guy Ashley.
And I'm Stella Inger. We are learning the icon's body was discovered this morning inside his music studio as well as his home in Minneapolis. He was 57. ABC's Brandy Hitt has the very latest from Los Angeles.
He was a music pioneer known around the world by a single name, Prince.
This is what it sounds like when doves cry.
His eclectic work, unique vocal style, and larger-than-life stage presence catapulted him into superstardom in the 1980s with the release of Purple Rain. Born Prince Rogers Nelson, he would change his name several times. First in 1993, opting for this symbol during a dispute with his label, referring to himself as the artist formerly known as Prince. Then again in 2000.
It was interesting the other day. A friend of mine said, "So what should I call you now?" And I said, "You can call me Prince." And it just felt good to say that again because I hadn't so long.
The music legend's publicist tells ABC News he was found dead at his Minnesota studio and estate. Sources say he had been battling the flu. Last weekend, his plane even made an emergency landing after a concert. He was treated but later released.
People don't realize he sold over 100 million albums. He won 7 Grammy Awards. He won an Academy Award.
One of his most memorable performances, the Super Bowl halftime show.
It's good to dance to. You know, it comes on in a club and everyone's just having a good time.
He was so talented. He could play so many different instruments. It's a sad loss for music today.
Prince was also known to have hundreds of songs never released in what fans call the vault, which means we may not have heard the last of his music. Brandy Hitt, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Fans across the world remembering the music legend, including some in Tucson. KGUN9 on your side's Whitney Clark is joining us live from Midtown. Whitney?
That's right, Guy. Well, here at Zia Record Exchange near Speedway and Country Club, people have been pouring in all day, getting their Prince albums. They've sold out of mostly everything, the most popular, of course, being Purple Rain and 1999. Now, Prince has sold more than 100 million records worldwide, making him one of the best-selling artists of all time. He has 7 Grammys, a Golden Globe, and an Academy Award that was for Best Original Score for the movie Purple Rain, which a lot of people have been asking about here as well. Now, he released nearly 40 studio albums in his lifetime and was also inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame the first year he was eligible. Now, we've seen people paying tribute to him on social media and all across town. Right now, the Rialto Theater downtown is actually planning a tribute show for next Saturday, April 30th. They plan to feature a few live bands that will play his music and honor him over the years, and we'll have more details on that when they become available. Live from Midtown, Whitney Clark, KGUN9 on your side.
Continuing our coverage, after Pima Animal Care Center rescued 28 dogs from a puppy mill, officials say they were all adopted within just hours. The shelter took in the dogs from a home near Swan and 26 Tuesday afternoon, and once they became available for adoption on Wednesday, the shelter says they were all adopted by, get this, Wednesday night. A line of people still showed up today hoping to get one. 9 Your Side's Ricky Mitchell has the update.
About 24 people waited in line Thursday, hoping to get one of the dogs rescued from a puppy mill.
It's absolutely unusual.
Karen Hollish with Pima Animal Care Center says she unfortunately had to tell this crowd they had all been adopted the night before.
We're hoping the community will channel their energy for these puppy mill survivors into the many other deserving dogs and cats we have waiting for homes out here.
She had gnats and gnats.
Crystal Caruso is one of the lucky people who got to take home one of those survivors, a poodle named Molly.
Her hair was mess, really nasty, like dirty. So we took her, they shaved her. She had like really bad cuts.
We found Molly actually here at the spay and neuter clinic, all ready and waiting for Crystal to come pick her up. The dogs taken from the puppy mill were all in relatively good condition, according to shelter staff. They needed to be fixed, and many needed dental work. It was the condition of the home that led animal officers to take the dogs away.
There were just crates stacked on top of crates on crates. It was very cluttered. The dogs didn't have a lot of room to move around or a lot of outside time.
The shelter says the owner was very cooperative with officers and willingly signed the dogs into PAC's care. The case is still open, but officials say the owner likely won't face any citations. There is no law in Arizona to limit the number of animals someone has or to stop them from breeding and selling dogs from their home. Pima Animal Care still has 300 dogs at its Silver Bell shelter and plans to drop adoption fees for the rest of the month. Ricky Mitchell, KGUN9 on your side.
Tonight, an exclusive tell-all interview with the Booth Fickett principal told to leave his school one day after our KGUN9 interview with him. Charles Bermudez told us he's resigning because he was mistreated by the district after parents and students complained the new discipline policy to reduce suspensions and expulsions has led to more bullying and vandalism, a policy that affects the district's 48,000 students. Night on Your Side's Valerie Cavasso sat down today one-on-one with the principal.
As the first interview got underway, Charles Bermudez intended to toe the district line, but there was a moment, this moment, when he decided he could no longer lie.
I'm going to tell it like it is.
The next day, the district showed him the door.
So the message that's sending out to teachers and administrators is if you talk, you're not going to be there. The message is very clear.
No longer tied to the district, he now wants to send a message to parents about the district's transition to a more lenient policy, a policy that places a bigger burden on the teachers.
The small disruptions, the talking in class, the being rude. So the teachers are supposed to handle that.
Once handled by administrators, teachers are instead required to document those incidents and contact parents.
But it's kind of difficult for the teacher to do that when they have 27 other kids and they're supposed to be teaching a lesson.
And even if disruptive kids were sent out of the classroom, they would often return in time for the next class with no change in behavior because, Bermudez says, staff had little training in what to do.
I think most principals were kind of unclear. I was unclear really about the policy. The current policy for me is too weak. Anything farther is, I believe, too weak for all our families.
And after the first interview aired, Bermudez said he was inundated with texts and emails, more than 300, from administrators and former and current teachers. And what are they telling you?
Give me a second here. Teachers are telling me that I'm their hero. We're stepping up.
What about the more severe discipline problems such as fights and vandalism? Bermudez tells all about that as well, coming up at 6.
Well, another 90-degree day outside.
Here is Chief Meteorologist Erin Christensen with a look outside.
Yeah, that's right. We actually made it to the mid-90s today, and our clear skies had a little something to do with that. So did that high pressure overhead, but we do have some changes waiting for us around the corner. 93 degrees right now. That is not our high. That is just what we've cooled off to. 93 in Sells, 86 at this hour in Nogales. Overnight, 59, partly cloudy, but those clouds aren't the main thing that will get in the way of your viewing the Lyrid meteor shower. It does peak overnight and tomorrow morning, but I'll tell you why it is the poorest time shower of 2016 in your full forecast.
Thanks, Erin. The next time you walk outside, you might be stepping onto the most dangerous street in the city. What they're doing to protect you and your loved ones.
And all eyes on this man, why he is on police's radar. Plus, it's almost Earth Day, what you can do to help make our planet a better place to live. You're watching KGUN9 on your side.